Okay, what's going on, Grand Rising? We are live for the futures session today here, NFP day, Friday, January 9th, 2026. And so right now I'm going to kind of just look through my pre-market stuff that I have going and then see what we're going to get because we did have that news, NFP at 7:30, and they're already pushing that price. So let me share this really quick. Okay. All right, I can just see the chat that way for now. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put most of my focus today. And move this over here too. Just trying to make that really quickly. I'm gonna put most of my focus today on NQ like I always do. But just so I'm gonna move this over actually. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me write this out here really quickly. Sorry, let's see. So I'm doing this. 7:30 news. Nice. So we're already seeing capitulation here, which is awesome. Just taking some notes here. Uh, Obviously, this will be recorded, so people who, if they come in late or you just miss it, you'll be able to watch the recording. Okay. Price pushed. Okay. Okay. Just taking these notes really quick. Okay. 25. Let me take a couple more notes here. QQQ up. Just trying to make sure I got all these up here. Alright, we're going to be looking at 15.5 NQ here for the New York. So, really quick, 26 right now, right? So, looking at that news price, they shot that price up to 25,800, taking that previous day internal liquidity, not the high, but they took that liquidity, which is a good sign of strength. For me personally, what I'm going to be looking at today is maybe a slip down to this demand candle here. So it's going to be like somewhere in this area potentially. I'd be looking for like a higher time frame, like perspective setup. If that area doesn't work, right? If that area doesn't work, then I'd be looking for that initial balance low and possibly like a dip below. But another thing is, because the news shot up and now it's come back down, where I'm going to really have my focus is on this daily open and see how this 15.5 presents price right in this area, because they could just fill this imbalance here at this key level and then shoot price back above high of day to reach for 25,850, which is that previous day high. So that's kind of where my eyes are at. So we'll see what we get. But I'm going to lock in. I'll be taking some notes. I'll be having some commentary. But a lot of it is just going to be like note taking and like marking up. So as we continue to do this over time, and we have like more people that hop on, then I'll answer questions and stuff too. But obviously for today, we're just putting in reps. So let's see what we get. Here. Okay. So we got about 2 minutes, so I'm gonna be locked in here. Okay. So that's a good sign right now out the gate that they want to sell off and YM's kind of pushing up. So if they do this fast, this might end up turning into a pretty good move. Now I want to look possibly at this 25,650s, but I'm gonna watch how it reacts like in here and in here. But if they don't show me my signal that makes me want to enter the market, then I'm gonna wait for like a initial balance low to be taken, which is the low of day. And then to my left over here, what I'm looking at, so you guys can kind of see, right, is I have the higher time frames all in this window. So I'm watching like ES, NQ, etc. So let me go back to where we're looking for though, because I want to pay attention to what we got going here. And I love this type of price, like out the gate. The capitulation is really nice. This is definitely a price I like. Minute one, sign of weakness. So price is super bearish. Taking a look here at like YM and stuff too. YM held that 49.5 really nice to bounce. That was perfect. So let's see if we can get something similar over here. Let me mark the New York opens. Okay. So we're just sinking here. So I identified the levels before we started. Okay, guys, so this is kind of like the area I was looking for. Let's watch and see here. 48s to 58s, 68s. That's too much risk. I don't want to risk that, honestly. And I'm going to be trading with like lighter contracts today just because I'm doing this for the first day in a long time. So probably like 2 contracts. I like how that's responding though. But let's see here. Higher time frame. Let's look at that. I like where it's at higher time frame too, like 4 hour and like the 1 hour area, because I was identifying these areas last night. So I'd like to see what this first 5 minute close looks like here for NQ. ES starting to show some strength. YM has double tops, so we'll see. Be patient here. Actually, let's try here so I can kind of see. So watching that first 5 minute close, it was obviously bearish, but this is where I want to be locked in here. All right, we're not getting any signs of shit. Oop, that might be the area, guys. I might have missed it. I was looking for like somewhere in this area, like I was saying. So we'll see. We'll see if it gives a chance to find some edge. Sign of weakness times bear. That might be the response, to be honest. Like I like how ES responded, and then I like how YM has left those double tops. So this area that we talked about pre New York, I mean, it might just be the area that slipped below the 650s. And then looking at that London Open, the 672s was actually really nice. But we'll see what they do here. If they run this back all in one like 15 5-minute candle, then it just is what it is. Like I'm not gonna force my way into the trade. You know what I mean? But that was really nice off that level. Okay, we'll write this down here too. What time is this? 8:35. Okay, so that, like I said, I think that really could be the move. Like I said, I don't want to force my way into it. Now, if price was to come back down into like we'd have to look at the price here. If it was to come back down, I may attempt it after this 5 minute close. But as of right now, like if I've missed that first initial like 1 minute play here, I'm not gonna go back and like try to force it. So we'll see. That's the move. I'm kind of salty. It's literally the move I was looking at last night. And then if you look at ES, I'll kind of show that really quick. God, that's the move, guys. I'm pretty sure. When you look at ES here, we responded right off the same areas, right? Inside that and wick that 1 hour. So it's just perfectly what we were looking for from last night. Yeah, that thing's gone, dude. If that thing takes the highs, I might just wait till Monday to stream again because that was pretty much the move I wanted. What a banger! Oh, let me take a screenshot of this over here. Now we still have news at 9, but I mean, shit. I mean, that's like I said, that's pretty much the move that I would be anticipating for today. That we got. That was it. Okay, 8:35, 8:30, 8:35. Okay. And that was how much of a move here. Sorry. Push. Yeah, that was the area. Just wasn't locked in right there. So yeah, that response is awesome. I mean, when you look at a 1 hour, right? We were wanting to get 50% of this candle, this dump candle right here, we were wanting about 50. Anywhere below 50 of that was going to be a great area, I thought, to execute something. So that close was explosive, right? 100-point move from 835 to 40. That's pretty aggressive. So unless price comes back into the initial balance or like these points of interest on 5, then I'm going to be just patient here. And so one thing I like to mark as well is when New York makes a low or a high. Okay, so this is now the New York low. All right. Then we got New York low over here. Okay. Okay, now we're going for what, 40 to 45 here. Yeah, so let's see here. Eight 40 to 845. That has looked really good to be the moves, to be honest. ES looks like it wants to go make new highs, so it's just kind of have to see. We can see ES right here, right? So 15-minute candle here, first 15 minutes of the open, and I mean, it's pretty aggressive. So I'm going to be patient until I see something that I just really like for NQ. It looks so strong right now. Now, some people would buy this up here. I'm not going to do that today. I just don't really care to. Like, the 1 minute does support a pretty good risk reward position, though, I will say. Let's see here. But I just don't want to buy it that high right now if I don't have to. So they're strong. Now, if they slip back below New York Open or daily open, I'll start counting from risk to entry and look for something possibly there. But as of right now, I'm not gonna like try to force my way into a buy up in this high. When you look at a 1 minute though, I will say this: like this area right here was frameable potentially, like because of how the structure is. But it's like the risk would have been too much for me. I only want to risk like 20 handles. So I'll just wait for it to come back here on a 5 minute if it's going to do that. We also have news at 9, so we don't really want to force ourselves into anything too crazy. And for my recording, what I'm going to do here in a second, if I actually, like I thought we were going to have time to kind of frame that up, but they moved it pretty fast. Okay, so we're starting to make our way down here a little bit. So I'm going to lock in. This first 15 minutes is looking really good. So 15-minute close bullish. That's, I mean, signs of strength. I mean, it's pretty good. But I think they roll over here. Let's see here. Okay, so it looks like they're going to continue up. We'll see. I'm being patient though, me personally. And then looking at YM, is they're starting to sink that. Potentially below that low of day, which we had marked out, me and Tay, before the open. So that looks pretty good there. And then let's see how this looks. 4-hour daily. So I want to now. What I'm really focused on is that 4-hour and 1-hour close, like how they're gonna close here, because we have that news at 9. So. I would type in the chat, Tay, but I'll just say it. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you probably would. You took those shorts down. Just kind of get an idea of this area where I would want it. So from risk to entry is where you want to think. So I'd be looking for something like this. It'd have to be really low, or it'd have to build up inside that 700 level a specific way. So some people may take it here. I mean, it's up to them. I just don't want to take a trade right here. Excuse me. Okay. Let's go ahead and move to the execution window actually, because I might actually end up taking one of these here. Alright, so you guys should be able to see the execution window now for TS. And that way I can focus here on my 15.5 and you guys can see what we're actually taking here. So like I personally kind of like this area right here. So it looked like something like this. But it's just too high and above POI. So like something like that, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient here. Let's go. Come back to my level. Fast spikes down here. That's a good sign. See if we can get in there and see something here. ES is starting to fall over as well. So we're back into that area now. This is where I like to focus. So I'm going to lock in. What time is it? 40 to 45. Okay, so this is where I'm going to be locked in, okay? I didn't see that we fell that far. Okay, so I might be looking to buy here. I'm probably going to go one contract to start if I do like this area, and then I'll add in. How much is that risk? 672s? That's 7. You could probably buy into here, but I just don't want to do it yet. Hold on. Just trying to do the math in my head here. So 672, 8292, 02. It's 30 handle risk. So I don't kind of wanted it when it was in that 1 minute demand. That's probably it. I'm gonna probably take one here, guys, right at the open, and then put this right here. How's my math? Yeah, because I'm willing to risk 200 per day, so I'll do one contract here. I kind of hesitated. I should have taken it down here in the 85s, but we'll see if this area works out. If it doesn't, then I'll look for that New York low to be swept and the low of day to be swept, and then I take an entry there. But I do like this area potentially here. I was like, what did he say? And then where did we get 720. So they kind of filled me kind of high. I thought it was gonna be a little bit lower than that. But we blow through those HODs, and I will probably be good on the day on this account just because of the fact of, like I said, I've already have a winning week, so I just need to close out the week. Like I said, I did, excuse me, I did hesitate slightly inside that 5-minute demand, which is, whatever. It is what it is. Come on, stick with it today. Now, sometimes I, excuse me, sometimes I add another contract in, but like I just don't see the price action enough like that. Like if I had the original area that I wanted with that stop loss low at 5-minute, I probably would be adding into something like this. But if not, then I'll wait because I only want to take one other shot today. ES is testing those areas too. We'll see. What time is it? And then we have that news at 9, so I want to kind of save my bigger volume trade for around that time. Okay, 8:45. 8:45 to 50. Sign of weakness. Into 2N times POI / level 700s. So that may not work out. We'll see. They're kind of respecting higher time frames too. ES kind of looks like it wants to topple, so just depends. We'll see what happens. $673s. They kind of filled me. They filled me at 30 points. That was crazy. Okay, so we're just, if this does rally up for us, what we're looking for is those 25 824s to deliver, and then we'll go back and look at some of the other assets over here. Okay, yeah, so this is my first trade on these accounts too today. So this is, like I said, this is all 5 of them connected. So we'll see what they do here today. And then if we do slip up above those highs, I'll kind of go over a higher time frame breakdown so you can kind of understand what I'm looking at there too if it does go ahead and rally. Now, I'm accepting the risk on this because I only have one contract on, so. Taking a look at ES is still looking pretty strong over there. And now we do have that news at 9, so that's the other reason why I'm not really sizing into this. Yeah, because we could have a lot of crazy news today, honestly. That's why I'm staying kind of light. Now, we slipped these 790s. I'll probably go risk off, but we'd have to, like, really zorp up there. Mm-mm-mm. Those higher time frames just aren't pushing the area like I like, though. Like, you want to see the 1 hour wicking right here if it's actually not going to go take my risk in the low in the New York low. So just gotta be patient. Yeah. I do like the area. I was about to add a contract here, but like I said, I'm gonna wait until 9 because I feel like they're gonna fly at that news for some reason. Ah, come on, man. That 5 minutes starting to get heavy. ES is pretty heavy. So my location is trash on the 5 minute too. I don't like how that looks. Unless that 5 minute literally just rejects the point of interest here, daily open and New York, and that 5 minute demand candle. So basically this area here, then it'll slip. But if it can stay, printing bullish in this area right here to the end of end of day price, then we have a good chance to see this. I would think go higher. But it's just too early before the news. They might want to slip that New York low, that low of day, so those 630s first. Um, just because, like I said, it just depends. If I had a little bit lower entry, like I said, on that first initial shot, I'd probably add a contract though, even though it's before 9. How much time is that? We got. Let me look at the 4 hours. How they look too. They look good. I don't know. That looks pretty good. Okay. 1 minute before 9. So like I said, we'll see if they shoot this up to the 824s. So it'd be like a pretty good 100 handle move. Would be pretty fire. 721s, yeah. So 24s would be pretty interesting. And I'm sure there's, you know, and I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say that word, but there's a good chance that there's sell side liquidity at that 824s because that news price drove price up and people wanted those shorts. So maybe they win, maybe they don't. We'll see. And if we do go higher, I like 900s. So if it just shoots higher, before going lower here, then I'd like the 850s, the previous day high area, as a target. ES is finding a bid there. Now, if we cross those 790s, right, then I'll trail this to, even with one contract, I'd trail it to break even. Right now, I'm willing to accept the risk until we get potential price action that would show me that I want to do that. They might sink them here first. That H1's getting heavy. Let's see. Now my entry placement isn't that great. It's not inside that 5 minutes like demand like I like, and then that makes it harder on my risk placement too. So that's why I was like, I'll just take one contract. They're not looking too strong on that higher time frame. Take a look at YM really quick. YM's still kind of holding up over there. Come on, 5 minute. They're not looking too strong at POI, so that's not a good sign. Unless they literally turn up very quickly outside of that 5 minute box. Okay. So now that we've gotten the news and we just didn't capitulate, I might be looking to, okay, maybe we are about to capitulate. We're not getting the fast response that you'd want to see for a buy position though. Just be patient here. It should be fast if it's gonna go, like. Okay, that looks a lot better. LSU DV. And like I said, I just want 850s, right? So 25,000, 850 is like my target on this. I like that shift in price delivery here on 1 minute, but I'd like to see 5 minute price is what I really focus on. Okay, let me take some notes here really fast. They're not getting out of the area fast enough for me. Like, they need to get out of the area in this type of situation if they're gonna go. They're keeping that sell side heavy here. We'll see with this 5 minute close. I think we'll have a good idea between here and 9:15, obviously. If 5 minute bodies can close above POI, so like especially like daily open here, the 720s, then there's a good chance it'll turn up. But if we get 5 minute closes below that level and 1 minute structure starts going bearish, then the likelihood goes down. Yeah, it's annoying, bro. It's super annoying right now. We'll see. Just be patient. Like I said, I'm willing to take another trade today because I'm only risking, what, 95 on this right here. And I like to risk like around 200, max 400. But like I've had a winning week, so I don't really want to eat into the week like that. Now ES looks heavy to the London lows right now on that 1 hour and 15. So this might sink, guys. But I'm going to be patient though. They're sinking pretty fast on ES, so let me write that down. ES sinking. H1, 15, 5. Yeah, they're sinking pretty hard over there. And then YM's getting ready to take that that low that they already created. So, I mean, I'm just gonna have to accept the risk. Me personally, I'm not gonna. Sometimes I used to pull those, but I'll accept the risk because the divergence might hit and then they might rally. Who knows? But if we do go lower, I'll kind of go over to here. I'll wait for a second, and we'll look at the 15.5, and I'm gonna look a little bit lower than this New York low. So like a little bit lower than where I actually have my risk currently, and then I like that 15.5 area potentially below previous day lows as well. So we'll see what they do, how they print. ES is sliding though to the downside. Wow. Yep, ES is making 15.5 new lows. Come on, man. YM's falling. Those 4 hours look pretty heavy. Alright, so they're slipping. So I'll pan over to, if they take this risk here, I'll pan over to 15.5, and that way we can kind of see what I'm talking about here. And that's a loss. Okay, so looking at this, right, from the higher time frame, I like to leave these here like this. And then I like to wait for the slip of this New York low. So sometimes you're gonna experience a loss. But like I said, I'm willing to take another trade if they take this liquidity, depending on how ES responds as well. I ended up taking the first bounce for about 100 handles. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know, bro. Like I think it's just because I was streaming that I didn't take that one, because I usually would take that one off that London at 672s. It's part of it though. All right, so this area obviously failed, and then we're coming down to POC. So let's see if they take that liquidity. Why is my QQQ window down? Oh, okay. Okay, what? I need to take notes on that. ES sinking. MQ follow. Now we still got quite a bit to go here, and then when you look at like a 1 hour, right, that location was terrible, right? So that's what I get for that one. But if we end up going a little bit lower here, low of day, 600s or previous day low, that's where I'll keep my focus, because this is such a fast move that this is exactly what I want to see personally when I'm looking for a buy position. All right, so New York low has been achieved, right? So they're sinking. And this is fast. Let me write this down. 905 to 910. Fast capitulation. New York low. Okay. All right, let's go back to this window here, because I'm going to be looking to possibly take something on this now, if I see a little signal here. Now, yeah, because we've taken low of day, a lot of people will start to sell the breakout, and so that's where I'm going to start to look for a potential area. And it's never fine. Now, I might put a little bit more size on this one, like 2 contracts, just because it depends on the risk, depends on what the risk will be. ES hasn't delivered the LOD, so that's divergence, right? And so that's that SMT divergence, whatever. All right, let's focus up here. That low is 615, so 25, 35, 45. That's a 30 handle risk right now. I'm not taking that. Or maybe right, and let's try this area. 660s, what would that? 30s would be my risk. Let's see here. I'm gonna wait and be patient here. It's actually the perfect area after the LOD sweep. I will say that. Now my risk usually would be those 615s, but in this situation, I might end up doing 628s. Just depends on how it comes down. No. It's already back above New York low. Let's see this here. That could have been another one as well. I mean, like I said, I'm just kind of like hesitating today, right now. Just me personally, I'd like to see at least a 5-minute strength candle here today. Because I want to go a little bit, I want to go 2 contracts to be honest. But I know that move could be 200 handles. That's why I'm like, shit, I should have maybe taken it under that low. What time is it? Okay. What time is it? 9:11. So if we close this 5-minute candle in about 2 minutes bullish, I might end up taking this, but I kind of like this area to be honest. But the risk, the way I'd have to frame up the risk right now, I don't really like that. So they already made that new LOD, so I probably would have taken it right when they sank it here. You got the sign of strength, and you play here. Those 650s would have been good, but that 615, I just didn't like that risk. And this is gonna be the shot. Write this down. Shit. Okay. Not gonna chase though today. Perfect H1 area too. What's YM doing? YM took that LOD as well. And then so we have that divergence. Like I said, we took the low here on NQ, and then ES held. So I kind of like that. But that's probably the move right there, guys. I mean, it's literally starting to already go back up. So can't hesitate when it's under previous lows. And so let's see this 5-minute close and see if maybe there's like edge inside of there. But when I look at like a higher time frame, that first entry was terrible, right? But if I take that second one under LOD, that location is perfect. You get what I mean? So just is what it is. Might be a learning lesson today. Yeah, that might be the move of the day right there, guys. That was the bias too, was to see that slip of LOD come into the 20 level and then see the response. 9, 10 to 9, 15. And yeah, I like that first 100 handle move, but I'd rather it be like a slip of like what we got right now, you know? So this one I like a lot more. I'm more, you know, when there's a draw on liquidity on a higher time frame bias, that's usually a really good trade. So we'll see how this 5-minute closes. If it closes, I would say above daily in New York, there's a good chance that they're going to probably try to run that higher. So, but there's still opportunity, right, as we come back into the 5-minute candle in like this area, potentially if they don't just run it right here. So some people will buy this, put their stop here. I mean, that's up to you. You do what you want. I'm just looking for specific areas. Okay, so that 15-minute close was bullish, so let's get it right there. That's pretty strong, guys. 15. That's 1 wick testing. candles look pretty good. Take a look at this. That 4 hour looks really good. I want to just kind of show this really quick. Right, how that 4 hour is starting to come out of that demand candle here and starting to push and wanting to go for those highs. So this is exactly what we really want to see for the bias. So, like I said, not as upset about missing this first one, but I am upset about missing that LOD. And for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why my LOD isn't marked on here. I know I marked it, so that's crazy. Beautiful setup. Now they deliver the HID. I'll probably just be good for the day because I'll be only 25 handles away from my actual target that I wanted, which was previous day high, 850s. So I'm just gonna take some notes here really quick. So price to me is still just kind of teetering. I wouldn't want to. I personally just don't want to buy it this high, unless there was like a move kind of closed higher, came here, and then I could frame up risk. So like something like this, I'll kind of frame and show you what I might look to do here. Is if price was to close higher than this down candle here, so these 750s, I would start to look at something like this to then take those same highs because that's going to give me a 1 to 4, 1 to 3 R. And so just got to be patient and see. What time is it now? Okay, so something like that is what I'm talking about. Bam. Oops. Kind of looked a little quick there. Yo, where's my order? Oh, wow. They filled that order kind of slow, guys. So like I said, in total today, I'm looking to risk around 200, max 400, because that would, I mean, I've already had a pretty good week. I don't want to, like, do anything crazy here. Now this is a little bit higher up. It is above POI, but it's like I'm just looking at this area right here and framing this area to get to this area. I'm not really trying to go too crazy. Okay, so what time was that? 9:15 to 20. 750s look. And let me see where ES is looking like here. ES is still respecting POI, so there's a good chance that it. Now they did fill the order a lot higher. I had it inside that demand, then it flashed up. So if they're gonna go higher, it'll just extend. If they're gonna go back into that range where I have to take a 5-minute play in the 700s, then we'll see that as well. It really just depends. If I'm gonna size into this though, as if it falls fast back below 700. If it falls fast back below 700, that'd be my last trade of the day, and I'd look for something a little bit heavier on volume. 9:15, 9:20. 5 minute. Was that right? What time is it now? Okay, yeah. 5 5 minute. 5 minutes of price level, times side of strength. And then what did we lose to start? I guess gotta see 96. So if we can run this, like I said, above high of day here fairly quickly, then I'd still probably target. I still would probably target the 850s if it actually goes from this area, and then as soon as it looks like it might dip. But if it if it goes in our favor, what I'm gonna do when it gets to 800 levels is I'll cover it. But it's got to show me a sign of strength so that I can actually go break even in this type of position. But personally, I would like it to come back to that 700 level because I wanted to put a little size on it. God, that lower position is so fire, man. Those 650s are insane. I'm upset. Okay, that's a nice little push there. So, like I said, if we push I'm watching the 5 minute candle, okay? So if that 5 minute candle actually extends through the 824s, then I'll just go ahead and move this to right here, okay? So I'm gonna let it go ahead and go. Like, I accept the risk in this situation. Now, as soon as it breaks structure, I mean, literally 824s, then I'm gonna cover. I'm watching this 5 minute, has 2 minutes left, so it still has some time here. Okay. I ended up taking the first. Oh, I thought that was a different comment. Okay, ES made a new high, and then looking at YM, it's starting to really ramp up. So if we can break structure through this area, then like I said, I'm looking for that higher pricing up to 850s. Where would this be right now? And I'm gonna go ahead at the minute mark. As long as the 5 minutes still closing above 800s, I'll probably go ahead and secure these right here, the 752s, just because it might come back down fairly quickly here. Because noobs buy tops and sell bottoms, so people are gonna be trying to buy the breakouts right here. And I'm just waiting for that signal to go risk off. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm not really trying to risk that much today, just because I've had a really great week. And then on top of that, I just want to make sure that the stream is doing, the right quality and all that stuff too. So I hesitated. I'll go over, if we get through these 5 minute highs and I'm able to cover, I'll go over these areas, both of these, because this one was actually really good, I thought. But this is the one I really like because you have the dump. So we'll see if they give it to us or not. And then because of how high this entry actually is, I'm going to go ahead and cover that because there's no reason to lose on that trade now. All right, so I'll probably do like $2. Right, so if it spikes down, it spikes down. But like worst case right now, based on what I have on the board across the accounts, right, I'm down 96. I'm close to, being back to break even. So I don't want to take a risk when price could come back and give me a more volume, bigger trade down here. Now you could also use that 5 minute candles low, the 752s, right? But like I said, if it comes back to even this area here at this point for me, with only 2 seconds left, let's watch this 5 minute close. And see how that 5 minutes not closing above? I need that, at least it closed bullish, but I need it to close above the highs. And then we'll be on our way. And I'll kind of go over what I'm looking for here on higher time frame here in a second. If we get that, once we break through 824s, and I'll pan over to this other window and we can kind of see what I'm talking about here. It was a good bounce back. My nerves are a little bit up there just, trading like this on YouTube and stuff. So it seems like a good bounce back play. It's not the most ideal, right? But just want to pan over it. Okay, that looks good. Just want to pan over really quick to higher time frames here, so you guys can kind of see really quick, is what we're looking at, right? Look at that ES, beautiful demand, right? Beautiful demand play, right? Off that area, and then wicks into the area, and then it's made new highs. So if we can go ahead on here and make that new high, sweet. You know, we're back in a profit for the day potentially. And so what I want to see is I'm watching 5-minute bodies, higher open, higher close. As long as this in 3 minutes stays that way, then I will go ahead and trail this up to here to secure a little bit more on the day. But it's like now that they've drawn this liquidity, it's really it's such a high entry that I've got to stay like this, essentially. What can you guys see? Okay, cool. I could just close it, right, and be break even or whatever for the day, but I'm not really worried about I'm not worried about losing, right? That's not. Now the other thing is, if I had the entry that I need, right, inside my 5-minute dump, or even here, right, I would probably have 2 contracts on. I've already moved one to here, and then I could really manage it, but I'll be patient today. I still think that when you look at like a higher time frame of this, I really think that when you draw fibs from high to low, we could reach to this 900 level. I really like this level. Wow, so we're still going to get a banger in here today, possibly. Let's go. YM just made new highs as well. So I just want to pan over to that really quick. So you guys can kind of see that. I'll let that load. Now look, YM took initial balance low. ES did not take the initial balance low, and we did here. So divergence is where this is where I like to usually take this trade immediately, right? Is when I see ES hold and I see this one take whichever one takes the liquidity, I always like the most, okay? And so 2 minutes from now, we'll watch this 5-minute close. On the 1 minute, we do have a down candle in the uptrending market. So if you had 2 contracts, I would say just move one of them there and the other one break even here, right? And then the difference in 96, I'm looking for at least 150 on the actual day. So I've got to go at least 200 plus, I think, here. So we're looking for 900s. We're going to trail it. We're just going to trail it and trail it and trail it. Because this could turn out, even though I didn't get the lowest entry that I wanted, this could turn out to be an amazing play for the 26,000 whole level. And so that would be really amazing to see that. There's that previous day high delivery. So if you have that move from down here, I would say you should trail everything up to where my entry currently is right now, okay? Because if you do that, you have the opportunity to secure a bag. Nice, bro. Nice. Yeah, I was kind of nervous when I started, Kobe, but you see we bounced back. It's all good. And I didn't even really size into it. I think if I would have been able to size into those 650s, it would have been really fun. Because at least 2 contracts, I'd have one trailed to where I'm at now. Let's see if we can still close this out today. Let me do the math really quick in my head here. Okay, cool. So I'm looking for like 250 plus. Banger, dude. ES was a banger. Was a banger, man. ES looks like it can go for all-time highs, 7,006. So as we come into this, what I'm looking for is supply, right? We're coming into the 4-hour supply candle. So if we can come up to that 900 level, that's pretty good. You know, getting into 50% of that type of level at this point of the day. Now, watching this 5-minute close, if it closes bullish, I'm going to move my risk up to the breakout candle, which obviously is closing bullish. So you could see a spike back down into the area. So just to secure, let me see if that secures my loss on the day. It doesn't really secure my loss on the day. So I'll probably stay break even on this, guys. Because I'm willing to accept the risk on a situation like that. Even if it comes back down, because I still have room for how I like to play again today. The previous day high was the target for those 650 areas, so they could drip from here. So I'm going to close it with a winning day on that for this one, just because I think that they're going to come back lower, right? And I can get a lower entry. But if they don't, they don't, right? because I don't have the 650s, so I'm not going to accept those today. Let me make sure my CFD is still rocking. Okay, cool. And so we'll go back to higher time frames here, and we'll watch him over here. And that way I can focus on CFD. Because I don't really, like I said, I'm not going to like mess up my TS for today. It's too high of an entry. I could have stayed break even, but I don't really want to sit here and have to manage it right now. Or trailed. I didn't even trail it that great. You said me that. Yeah, so if you, I'll pull up CFD here in a second too. So I took a better order. Dude, I did the Control thing. Tay actually took a better order on CFD, I feel like. So as we go up, I just want to show this really quick. Is from that previous day low to here, this area is looking really good. And then when you go to look at like where we're actually looking to get to, I would say here, okay? And so let's see if we can get to that 78.6 pullback 900 level. And yeah, if I had those 650s, I would have kept it. I would have kept it probably. I could have stayed, like I said, yeah, I could have stayed break even. He sent me a message. Yeah. 676 is where you entered? That's fire, bro. 676 is fire. Yeah, that's what I said. If I had that 5 minute like play like this, I'd definitely probably hold it, but I just don't like it when it's that high. So anywhere in here, I'd say, right? Oh, which one? Y'all can only see this window, sorry. Which window? Okay. So anywhere in here, right, like this and over, if you have an entry in there, I definitely am holding that. Like for sure, 100%. And anywhere essentially really below, where's the gain box? Anywhere below here. So you said 676 was your entry. So anything below the 50% of that 5 minute candle is fire to me. And so I got to give myself a grade of D from 8:30 to 9:30 right there. That kind of sucks, but hey. Okay, cool. And then I want to pan over really quick so we can kind of look at some higher time frame stuff. Is you see how ES is super bullish here, right? Like YM delivered the low of day. Where's the 15s? Do I have the 15s up? Okay, cool. So this is the 15. So they delivered that low of day and then immediately went back up and started rallying. And then the same thing here, right? So what they essentially are doing is pushing those prices up, like we talked about, to all-time highs, right? YM has all-time highs here at 49,876. ES obviously is 7,000, and then we're pushing into the supply candle here, and we're already there, right? So see, that's why my entry, the one I was telling you guys, like why I pulled that, like I usually don't do that, but it's just what I did today. It's because of the location. I felt like I was kind of forcing a trade to kind of like, because we're sitting here trading, and I mean, it's not a bad trade though. I mean, that's 100 handles, so. But as we push into this supply here on H4, what I'm looking for is how we're going to go up here and if we're going to take all-time highs here, right? Now, one thing you can notice about NQ, right, was Wednesday, we came up and you see the high at the very top right here, guys, open, high, low, close. The high on this candle right here was 25,998. That's why I think that this is a target level right now because of the fact that we didn't touch the 26,000 whole level, okay? But since we're in supply, right? So I'll go back to, as you guys look left here, as we're in this 4-hour supply candle, I wouldn't want to be buying anything that high, personally. Like I would be anticipating price to start to get weak in this area, okay? And so we'll watch for about 15 more minutes. Like I said, I'm not gonna like force myself anything outside of those 650s, I really want to take, quality setups. So they look pretty good though today. Let me check where we're at for today. I'll take some more notes here. We got 9:15 to 9:30. That was like I think that was the transitional time of the day as I'm taking notes here, right? 15 and 5 bodies shifted and price delivery and closed higher, right? So that's like, to me, that's like a perfect, and the previous day high delivery, that was awesome. So let me write this down really quick. Sorry, guys. Explosive. And previous day high, and previous day high delivered. $850s. Yeah, my mistake of the day, though, I will say, is just pulling it. I just didn't want to sit there and wait. I just wanted to make sure it's secure the green. Because this is a long day. We still could pull back into the range of the area that I like here, possibly those 25,750s, and find something. So I'll be patient here, because until we deliver that 900 level, I'm still very bullish on that level of if price came back. Here. All right, let's look at those 1 hours here really quick. So you see how we're also, you kind of have to understand like supply demand, right? So we're in 4-hour supply. We've delivered the previous day high liquidity, right? You have a high chance of seeing price roll back over right now, right? Especially when you're looking at like ES. Oh, sorry guys. How am I doing this crap today? Okay, so right here where we're at with ES, now noobs buy tops and sell bottoms, right? So they're trying to buy at this point to get the all-time high, and this is an area where I would anticipate possible shorts. So let me go ahead and actually pan back over to the execution window, because I might actually go short here. Risk is 79, so 69, 59. Let's see here. But I would want to see some 5-minute weakness, so. So 60, so 50, 60, 70. So that's not a bad trade right here. I want to see this 5-minute close. If it closes super bearish, like under this low, then I missed it basically. And then go back to 15.5 here. That 1 hour looks good too. I like where ES is at too. So let's see how this 5-minute closes, and then I'll make a decision here. It looks pretty solid. How much would this risk be? 70, it's a 60, 50. Okay. I like sells, guys, I'm not gonna lie. So let's try this area here. So that would put me close to, now if this falls fast, like falls to 800s fairly quickly, I'll cover this. Like even if it gets to this wick, I'd probably cover this just to secure it back. But when sells fall, they fall fast, right? And we're inside higher time frame, good location, and previous day highs did deliver, so that's a good sign. So when they deliver this wick right here, I would say, depends on your type of day you're trying to have. I'm willing to accept this risk because I'm I secured $38 on that loss that I had earlier. And so if this was to go against me, it'd only be like a $20 loss on the day. Okay, so now we've hit that 5 minute area. So I would say personally, like, we slip below here. There's no reason to risk anything on that. You know, this could be the play back down to demand. Okay. And so we're starting to topple. Yep. No reason to risk on that. So either it goes or it doesn't, family. And I'd look for a better trade location. Uh-oh. ES is starting to slide. YM starting to slide, so that's good signs. It's a good location, higher time frame. You know, that's the key of what I was saying. Like, you know, where buyers are going to exit inside supply, that's a great area. And then to play back down to the demand is like the key, right? Right, where the buyers should be. And then we needed to switch. This is our new New York low, right? So we've already achieved that low, and now we have the new New York low. So like a real crazy target would be obviously that New York low, because that's also now not just a New York low, that's the low of day. Okay. All right, so we already took that New York low. And so fall back over to news price 750s, that'd be really great. And this one I plan to manage hopefully a little bit better if it can fall in our favor. So we took one loss, one small win, and then we took this trade. So we'll see what we get. If we can get capitulation here, this would be pretty incredible. And I still kind of hesitated on that 5 minute entry as well, to be honest. But I'll accept it with the risk that I placed. And you look at the other assets, they're sliding too. I mean, ES is really falling from that H1 supply, so I just want to show that really quick. Is you're getting a massive fall, not massive, but you're getting a rejection from this area, and the buyers are most likely taking profit because we didn't get the structure to deliver higher, okay? Bangers. Now, like I said, as we go forward, I'll size more into these trades, but this has just been a pretty good week for me, so I'm not moving the risk. I'm literally just putting on top of that 5 minute open right there, just to kind of make it more clean. Now, like I said, I want to show this on another window here really quick. The middle screens here is that when you start looking at buy side, right, like buy side fibs, you're thinking about where those people are going to get weak. So the new low of day to the current high of day, because the price buys up, where's it going to go? You want to see price back below point of interest, like buy low, sell high. I want to give price back below. Like if I'm going to sell high, I want to give it back below daily, right? So if price just capitulates here to daily, then great, you know? I might be able to secure more of a bag here. Now you're like, well, why aren't you pushing it down here or whatever? Because it hasn't given me the sign yet to do that, right? I don't have any specific candles that I look for on this 1 minute, like an up candle and a down move to basically trail it down to. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit better on my management on this one. 135, 38. I mean, now if we break through this level here on this 5 minute, great. But if we start to return back up, then I'll just be patient and accept the small win. And my trailing risk on my buys for CFD were met, so. Capitulation. Away from H4 supply. 9:30 to 5 is H1 supply. Okay, be impatient here. Want to see this 5-minute close here on this candle. Now, this candle closes bearish because of the day that I've had. I might go ahead and trail it down. Actually, because it's Friday, I'm going to go ahead and probably trail it down here in a second. Because this would secure the 150 day, I believe, right? I'm just trying to do my math, sorry. So let's use the 5-minute high on this situation here. All right, because that'll secure for sure with what I already have on the board. 37 plus, that'd be close. That'd be close. That'd be close. I have to do my math better. Either way, I don't really care. They already have my 150 days. So cool. If they shoot back up, they shoot back up. But, they got me with 2 points. They wildin'. They're trying to get me to go back in. I'm good, guys. I've had a great week. So we'll be back for the live session next week. I'm looking at Monday and Friday for sure right now. So if you guys want to plan on that, same time we started today, and we'll have less jitters, let's just say, on that 5-minute buy, because we would have already been off the session and done. But I'm going to go ahead and accept that for today. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions or anything, just DM me. If there's anything quality-wise or sound-wise that you guys think could be better, just let me know. And have a great weekend. So talk to you guys a little bit later. Boom, boom, boom.